Hey everybody, this guy right here is showing some love to Cobra Kai this time, is Ray Flick Television beat writer for Bleeding Cool. Welcome you back to our review of the third episode of YouTube Red's Cobra Kai, bringing back Ralph Macchio and William Zabka to their original Karate Kid roles for a continuation series that takes place 30 plus years later. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the review of the first two episodes that we got to do after screening at Tribeca Film Festival, make sure you check it out. I think it should be down below here on this page you're checking out. If you're checking us out on YouTube, you should just check out the playlist that's included with. You'll be able to see our first review. Also, I'm going to be doing daily reviews for the remaining 8 episodes starting today, so we're going to be going straight through till Monday. So hope you guys enjoy them. Hope you check them out. With that said, third episode, great episode, nice continuation. I'm going to try and get the episode's name right, and even if I get it wrong, I'm going to try and do it with such over-the-top Spanish, inflection that maybe it'll save me a couple points. Esqueleto. Esqueleto. I'm going to go with that. That sounds pretty good. Just in a nutshell, to give you a little bit of recap, Johnny's got Miguel, but he doesn't have anybody else. So he needs to get some students and get some students pretty quick because, you know, those bills are starting to come in. A dojo is not a cheap thing to run. Daniel, still thrown by everything that he sees going on, is deciding to be a chaperone at the Halloween dance. Just so happens his daughter Samantha's going to be there. What a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. He's doing that to kind of keep tabs on her. Miguel gets a big training lesson from Johnny on kicking and building his muscles up. It's a great sequence. I'm going to be talking about it when I go through my list of very cool highlights. But yeah, the very cool sequence where Miguel learns in a combination of swimming pool and other practices that build up his leg muscles. Almost goes potentially bad, but actually it's a pretty good setup. There's the embarrassing scene between Daniel and Sam, which shouldn't be embarrassing because it involves Kyler, and Daniel thinks Samantha and Kyler have snuck off to have sex, and it goes back to the whole trust issue between Daniel and Samantha. But meanwhile, we all know Kyler's just a D-bag. You know, he's the representation of bad Cobra Kai from 30 plus years ago. I'm just waiting for, hopefully, for somebody besides Miguel and Johnny to see that's going on, even though I know Daniel's starting to have his suspicions. There's the rough scene with Miguel and Kyler, and you know, it's Miguel feeling the pride from having learned from Johnny, just realizing, you know what, it's hard to strike first when you got 6 guys who's striking first back at you. So it was a really rough end sequence, and I think it was an eye-opener for Johnny, like, look, dude, you're not dabbling anymore. This isn't just something for you can try and get back at your dad and try to get back at Daniel LaRusso, but what you're doing has consequences. And I thought that played out very well in that last sequence, and just that look on Johnny's face. Going over the recap, a couple things I want to talk about for what I liked about the episode. The realities of, hey, you got to pay to run a dojo, and the mix of Johnny's old school way of looking at things, from the moment on the basketball court to the phrases he uses, to Miguel representing this, you know, Cobra Kai 2.0 of websites and things like that. I just thought that was a really nice contrast, and well, I'll touch upon that in a minute. There's something else I particularly liked. The Daniel chaperone, of course, Daniel LaRusso. That does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form. I thought that was kind of sweet in a way. And again, Daniel, you are right, so trust your instincts. The Miguel kicking scenes, yeah, there was such a great anti-Mr. Miyagi sense to it, and yet it still had that feeling and flavor to it. You know, it just, I appreciated the striking contrast of a sensei who kind of believes in what he's doing, but realizes he's not quite sure what he's doing. And again, Kyler, I just think fantastic, just D-bag bad guy. I'm a big fan. I'm going to look up the actor and make sure I give him props for my next review. But I love the way he's portraying the I'm a nice guy, Mr. LaRusso, I am great, blah, blah. And meanwhile, you just hear him in that sequence. And the way he just tees off of Miguel, you were just waiting for that moment when it's just going to just all go to hell. Even the sequence with Daniel and Samantha, as much as I know there's going to be problems or animosity, again, I like the dynamic they've built between them, so you get the feeling there's going to be some conversation. And just the fact the way Samantha is and the way she was reacting with her friends, you know, Aisha especially, it was really, there's not the cliches playing out here. I thought was particularly nice. Where I think it's going to get really interesting is when we start seeing the introduction of Robbie. Which I have a feeling is going to be happening next episode, and how that's going to play in the dynamic. You know, it's the idea of Johnny's real son and Miguel's becoming kind of that surrogate son, think it's very, very interesting. But overall, again, great episode, great continuation, and we know it's building to something. Those Johnny Daniel moments that they keep teasing us, they're just doing an excellent job with. But let me get to some highlights. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. The beginning sequence where we got to meet Miguel's family, the Rosa, his grandmother, her confusing his practicing sounds with the jerking off sounds, I just thought was hysterical. Carmen, I just think is just going to be I think she's not going to be the stereotypical mom. We didn't get to see a lot of her. We know she's a hardworking mom and nurse. But that they are really hurting for money, as we've learned in the very first episode. But again, I think we're going to be learning a lot more. And again, you got to. I'm already seeing the dynamic of her and Johnny, so I'm kind of a big fan of that already. That Deadpool costume, that was a pseudo Spider-Man costume, that was a bunch about 100 other things. It was so sad, I felt bad laughing about it. But Jesus, wow, it's just creepy. Though it did have kind of that creepy look to it. The Jungle Fever abortion line at Daniel LaRusso's auto dealership I thought was hysterical. And I think it's kind of weird. I wonder how Wesley Snipes feels knowing that he always gets referred to on one hand as Blade, which is kind of cool. But then he gets referred to as also the guy who evaded taxes and went to jail. So, yeah, I think that kind of... Got to see where that goes on the balance scales. Johnny, little advice. Anybody who basically wants a burrito and meth for payment for being your person who's spinning your sign, probably not the person you want to put in charge of marketing and advertising. Just some friendly advice. Miguel and Johnny, the whole combination of showing Johnny the website that he made and talking to him about his appreciation for 80s music and Round and Round in particular, that look of just the pride of a dad on his face. And it just, on one hand, you loved seeing it, but on the other hand, you can't help but thinking, hey, but dude, you also have a son. This is going to be something that you're going to have to address. And that 10 minutes in the pool, that's damn impressive. To keep your legs kicking and keep your head above water for 10 minutes, I give him a ton of credit for that. It's good to know that being called a sorcerer is an insult to a necromancer. Who knew? Dimitri and Ellis, Miguel, I'm going to tell you right now, they're never going to have your back. Just going to put that out to you. They just are not. They left you high and dry in 2 seconds. They may be good friends, but wow, they were faster than the Roadrunner chasing around from the coyote. I had to laugh out of shock just how quickly they ran. You're always going to lose out to somebody in Doctor Who cosplay. I'm sorry, guys. You can be a necromancer. You can be a plastic surgeon. One Doctor Who version comes sweeping in. He's always going to get the ladies. Doctor Who cosplayers are always going to get the ladies. It's just, it's a fact of life you're going to have to deal with, boys. Sorry, it's just how it is. And last but not least, I'd said this before, Aisha has every right in the world to go ultra hardcore carry after what was done to her at that Halloween dance. Big time. That humiliating video was just, oh yeah, that just was like, I need her to just learn karate and just tear through everybody. But guys, thank you very much for joining me. Again, this is Esqueleto. This is our 3rd episode. Tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at the 4th episode, Cobra Kai Never Dies, where from what I understand, Robbie gets introduced into the mix, so we're very curious to see how all that's going to play out, because I have a feeling at some point, Robbie's going to be finding his way to Daniel LaRusso's side, so it'll be very interesting. But guys, let me know what you think. Make sure you comment here on YouTube. Also, make sure you comment if you're looking at it through the website on bleedingcool.com. My name is Ray Flick, television beat writer for Bleeding Cool. Love doing these things. Hope you check me out for the remainder of the 7 more that we have coming after this. And also make sure you check out bleedingcool.com. Bleedingcool.com for all the cool stuff we have across the pop culture landscape, from television to film to comic books to video games to collectibles to anything and everything under the sun. So please make sure you check us out on the inner tubes at bleedingcool.com. Thank you guys very much. Hope you appreciate this. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the next one, but hey, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to make sure I represent both sides equally. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you for the remainder of this week and through the weekend with these. Take care, folks.